Shalom. Shalom and welcome. This is Extinction Protocols. Extinction Protocols. It is a series of messages preparing for transition, for transitions. We will find conditions in this world will become so bad, my brothers and sisters, we will face forced migration, forced transition, as Yasharah is gathered and as humbled, refined, and gathered for that final exodus. As martyrs are ordered to specific points and places, we will face physical transition, and we will ultimately face the final transition where we put off the corruptible and put on the incorruptible. Scientists across the planet have already alarmed world leaders that man is on the course of extinction. Some say possible extinction within this century if there was not intervention from the Almighty Father. I believe within the next 20 to 25 years, if not sooner, man faces total annihilation if and only if there was not a plan from the Most High. Given that there is a plan from the Most High, my brothers and sisters, I believe in his plan, man as we know it in these earthen vessels still face extinction as far as the earthen vessels are concerned. However, we will put on the incorruptible, and as a result we will witness the fulfillment of all that has been written come to be. This series, Extinction Protocols, my brothers and sisters, are to those who seek to do the will of the Almighty Father and who have come to know that his true name is Yahuwah and have accepted Yahusha as Messiah, as Mashiach. It is a message to those who are being called away from false pagan names and labels that have been used to try to hide the Almighty Father's name. It is a message for those who earnestly and desire to pursue the ultimate righteous experience that can only be obtained by a relationship with a living Messiah as he presents us before the Almighty Creator. Yahuwah is his name. How many people are aware that Yah is short for Yahuwah and that Yah has been preserved throughout the centuries? Are you aware of the word that many people are unaware is a phrase, hallelujah, or even kumbaya? So Yah, the Almighty Father, has preserved. We are awakening to the truth regarding this name. Much truth is coming out. Considering the truth, including the truth as it relates to the true tribes of Yasharal, the true olive trees, the truth as it relates to the golden lampstand, the assemblies, the truth as it relates to us being grafted together as one, both Hebrew and Gentiles, or Arbri and Goyim, or Abari and other nations, grafted together as one in the Yahusha Messiah under the banner of Yasharal. These words, these messages are to you, whom I consider my brothers and my sisters. Today is May 30th, 2014. If you're tuning in for the first time, my name is Symmanayah, and this segment is entitled The Face of Death. The Face of Death. It is a topic that many of us would prefer not to discuss or turn our heads and ignore or not pay attention to or excuse for various reasons. But it will not make the true condition, the true experience go away. It will not turn and alter what lies ahead. Again, this segment is entitled The Face of Death. Allow me to define the word protocol. It is a system of rules that explain the correct conduct and procedures to be followed in formal situations. Our final exodus, our preparation, our journey, and once we are in that appointed place, will prove to demand and reflect the orders executed by the Most High Father, and will be reflective of the most formal situations we've ever witnessed in our entire lives. This series will prove to reflect necessary protocols as they relate to man's extinction, or it could be worded as a time of transition. Pray and watch. My brothers and sisters, did people die during the days of Noah? at the hand of the Most High Father, Yahuwah? Was there death among the soldiers who pursued Yasharal as they crossed the sea on dry land? Did the earth really open up and swallow Dathan and company, along with their children, as stated in Numbers 16th chapter? Is the story about Sodom and Gomorrah, or Sodom and Gomorrah, true? Did people die during the days of old at the hand of the Most High Father, Yahuwah? I submit to you, my brothers and sisters, yes, they did. Are scriptures true? I believe they are. Do end times foretell of extreme drought, famine, increased pestilence, and disease? Do you believe that these could come without people dying? Are you aware that during the Great Tribulation, well over 3.6 billion people will die? Yes, will experience the face of death. In Revelation chapter 6, verse 8, it makes mention of 1/4 of the people on the planet being killed. This is during one of the seals being opened. And at another time, in Revelation chapter 9, verse 18, it speaks of 1/3 of those living will be killed. My brothers and sisters, if you do the math, from over 7.2 billion on the planet, it comes to approximately 3.6 billion or more that would have been killed. There is no doubt that this is the face of death like never before witnessed, for there have never been this many people on the planet. In order for scriptures to be fulfilled, there will be those who will be followers of Yahushua, and there will be those overtaken by the wicked one, Satan. We have come to expect those who follow the anti-Mashiach, the false prophet, will no doubt face eternal judgment and fire. Many of us even expect to witness and even be a part of the emerging 144,000 and multitude mentioned in Revelation chapter 7. There are those who just don't know or have not given any thought to the coming conditions, let alone are praying to discern and understand the living instructions, guidance, and warnings that are going forth. Regardless of what we believe, the realities of end-time prophecy fulfillment are unfolding as this message is presented, and we will witness billions who will be in the face of death. Soon, and very soon, there will be widespread starvation due to unprecedented drought and famine. Soon and very soon, we will witness sickness and torment as pestilence and disease begin to spread widely across the planet. The face of death is real, and the living words of the Most High Father Yahuwah does not and will not hold back all that is to be fulfilled. My brothers and sisters, I am convinced people do not like talking nor thinking about death, but it is a component of the Creator's plan, the Almighty Yahuwah's plan. I strongly recommend each of us realize that global warming and climate change is unequivocally at our doorsteps, bringing widespread drought, which means fresh water shortages. I have been communicating with people about the severe drought in California, and I notice what I find to be very alarming is that people don't realize how much of our food, fruits and vegetables and nuts are shipped from California. Not many people realize that this severe drought that is west of the Mississippi River in the United States is also reflective of conditions that are occurring in other parts of the world. Brazil, the largest country in South America, is experiencing extreme drought. Famine and pestilence is on the rise, my brothers and sisters. The face of death is unfolding and enlarging like never before witnessed since our existence. The face of death is real, and the living words of the Most High Father does not and will not hold back. I strongly recommend that each of us realize that global warming and climate change is unequivocally at our doorstep, and it will result in death. Our desire to read the news every now and then seems to be replaced with entertainment versus concerns with what's really unfolding. There are only 24 hours in a day and 168 hours in a week. And in a previous video, I mapped out the possible usage of a person's week. I invite you to consider taking a moment and challenge yourself and calculate how much time you spend doing individual tasks and how you use your time. The time that you receive as a result of mercy and favor. The time that you receive to live by the words of the Most High. Examine, what are you doing with your time? Many will be surprised at how much is unfolding in life and that it is affecting them now. But believe me, as end-time prophecies unfold on a wider scale, we would realize even more so the effect of end-time prophecy on our life, and we will see an increase in the face of death. Many cultures, including ours, tend to take time to bury our dead. When there is death, we are accustomed to planning funerals and memorializing or reflecting on the life of a loved one who has passed. My brothers and sisters, unfortunately, as chaos, violence, civil unrest, and economic collapse, as these conditions erupt in the face of extreme drought and famine, we will come to realize there will be little regards for the dead. The face of death and how one responds will change as people become desperate for food and fresh water. This may seem like a script from an apocalyptic movie, but whether we accept it or not, the face of death will enlarge as many people will be killed during these last days, especially during the great tribulation period that is soon to be revealed. There are believers across the spectrum who speak on end-time prophecies. However, when it comes to all the possible intricate details, we are quick to dismiss what is presented. Preachers and prophetic scholars, so to speak, have made millions selling books, recordings, and videos. They have carved an entire industry on the subject of end-time prophecies. Whether they are promoting truth or a lie, their materials tend to sell. I have yet to see any material speaking on preparedness or preparing from a believer's perspective on what must and will be done, with the exception of those who promote an erroneous and wicked lie that there will be a pre-tribulation rapture. Yes, there are those who suggest we should be looking in the sky because any day now our Messiah will return. People are going with business as usual, continuing in their regular day-to-day routines with an occasional look at the sky, believing that one day the Mashiach will return. While such behaviors continue, wickedness is spreading rampantly across the planet, and just as in the days of Noah, just as the destruction fell on Sodom and Gomorrah, so will the final end come for man. The face of death is enlarging as I speak. There will be a time when we will face something similar, where we will witness these actions, similar to what is spoken of in Luke. Allow me to read Luke 9:59 and 60, and verse 60. He said to another, "Follow me." But he said, "Master, let me first go and bury my father." And Yahushua said to him, "Let the dead bury their own dead, but you go and announce the reign of Elohim." While we read this easily, with no problem discussing it, talking about it, when it begins to happen before our very eyes, then it will not be as easy. Yes, the face of death will bring times when we must just pursue and press forward in obedience to the Spirit of Yahushua. We may not have time to plan funerals or memorialize anyone, for the orders will come to press forward to fulfill what has been written. There seem to be no difficulties addressing the Most High Father when it comes to reading and talking about how he wiped out entire nations in his wrath. Yes, we can read it, we can talk about it, but we look at it as a story. Many of us fail to take heed that we serve an awesome and most powerful Creator who demands worship and obedience. We read these stories and say what happened yesteryear, unaware that the realities of the wrath of the Almighty Father approaches. There will be those among the ranks of the children of obedience who are not appointed to wrath, the wrath of our Almighty Father, who will face the final exodus, who will be gathered from the four corners of the earth. Many of us fail to realize that in the face of death, there will be orders and commands that must be executed in spite of the many tragedies we will witness. Though we may not empathize with those in times past, though we may not empathize with those who are experiencing the face of death now, it does not stop the realities of what's unfolding. We will come to experience some of the same heartaches and pain people experienced in times past and people are experiencing now when the face of death enlarges across the planet. The 144,000 multitude is being refined, will be perfected. There will be a final exodus of a unified bunch under the banner of Yasharal, consisting both of Abri or Abari or Hebrews, and Goyim, which is also known as Gentiles or other nations, who have been made one in Yahushua Mashiach, and will be guided to a safe place. Will there be some tares or goats among us? Indeed there will. And they will have the image of those who appear to pursue righteousness and who are indeed pursuing righteousness. But those who are obviously against righteousness, those who are obviously goats, obvious tares, obviously wicked, will not be among the ranks of those who are gathered. The face of death will have its place. Revelation 6:8, along with Revelation 9:18, will come to be fulfilled while we are gathered and guided to an appointed place, that safe place. Yes, there will be massive death. The face of death will be very horrifying. It will be an experience that we would not wish on anyone, but it will come to be. Pray, my brothers and sisters, but by all means remember there is more beyond our earthen vessels. Depending on what side you represent, it could be life immeasurably or eternal judgment and torment. Choose wisely whom you will worship and serve. My brothers and sisters, we are approaching a time. Yes, many of us are uncertain. We are void of knowing what the details are. Some of us are hearing warnings and living instructions and details, but are dismissing them. Some who walk in obedience are being falsely accused by self-appointed leaders and mores and prophets. And some are receiving living and righteous instruction by those who are chosen as mores, teachers, and prophets. There's a difference, my brothers and sisters. For some reason, many of us have dismissed that we are that close to end-time prophecy fulfillment as it relates to our final exodus. But I submit to you, it is only a matter of time, if not already, where we will become overwhelmed with what we are facing. We will come to witness how to continue on our journey, even in the midst of the face of death. We will witness evidence of the power and strength of the Most High Father working in us one towards another. We will witness his messengers as they become more visible to us. And we will witness chosen leaders by the Spirit of Yahushua emerge, directing and guiding our path as they are led by the Spirit of Yahushua, as they are ordered by the Spirit of Yahushua. Soon, believe it or not, the two witnesses of Revelation will emerge, and there will be proof. All these counterfeits and everyone who claimed to be one of the witnesses, that story, that false claim will be laid waste. Proof for those who will be among the children of obedience that the two witnesses will emerge. I am compelled to believe that these will be the last two shepherds of Yasharal, and that there is more to their ministry than what we see written in the text. Pray and watch, my brothers and sisters. Be alert, for we are moving into end-time prophecies at a pace that is more rapid than many of us are aware. The Spirit of Yahushua has living instructions, guidance, warnings, and orders that will come to be, that are being fulfilled. Let us not succumb or be overtaken by our flesh that seek to be enveloped in entertainment, distractions, and delusions. Let us manage these earthen vessels as pilots trained and directed by the Spirit of the Most High. Let us pilot these earthen vessels Let us prepare, my brothers and sisters, for there will be those who will march forward and press forward even in the face of death. I pray, my brothers and sisters, that we realize the face of death is unavoidable and it will become widespread. We will face the most challenging times. I cannot stress it enough. I encourage you, my brothers and sisters, begin to ask questions and more questions and even more questions. Begin to seek what it is that the Spirit of Yahushua has for you in his assemblies. Begin to pray and seek to discern and understand and respond with precision on what must be done, lest you find yourself in the most regrettable position. May the Most High Father have mercy on us as we press into a time that has been foretold centuries ago. Lift up your heads, my brothers and sisters. Let us lift up our heads and trust that all that is written will be fulfilled. I invite you to stay tuned as this series begins to wrap up. This series entitled Extinction Protocols. Stay tuned for the final segment of this series that is entitled Extinction Protocols. Shalom, shalom, shalom.